Hello, this is Jamaica 5288, and this is my take on Trinidadian callaloo. Different than Jamaican callaloo because it has coconut milk, shrimp or crab legs, okra, taro leaf, Scotch bonnet or habanero, tomato. This is my take. I got Swiss chard instead of spinach. I have Swiss chard. Onion, garlic, salt and pepper. So let's get it going. The first thing we're gonna mess with, or the first thing we're gonna deal with, is this taro. We need to get this stem off and peel it back. Okay, we don't want this, and we definitely don't want the main stem on these. These are new leaves, so this is a little hard. Taro or dasheen has to be cooked a minimum of 30 minutes. So I'm gonna start cooking this first, but first I gotta take this tail off. It's if you don't clean it, or if you don't cook it well enough and you don't take this stem off, you'll get itchy throat. It'll be like your throat is closing. So you got to take this stuff off and make sure that you cook your taro a minimum of 30 minutes. The rest of this stuff doesn't have to cook as long. So we're going to get this thing started. Just a minute. I'm going to change the camera up and we'll be right back in a sec. So I have washed all of my greens. All of the taro and all of the rest of the vegetables have been washed. As a matter of fact, I washed these 3 times. This one look a little beat up, so I'm not going to use it. I'm going to throw it to the side. All of them look a little beat up, huh? So here's one that I've already done. I'm going to throw it in the pot. I got a little bit of water in there. I'm not going to throw it in a pot. I got a little bit of water in there, so I'm going to put it to the side, right? Move you back so you can see more of what I'm doing. Taking this, and see this stem? I'm taking that, and I want to peel that. I don't even care if I take the whole stem out. This is what gives you the itchy throat. So there's another one. Again, taking the stem and pulling back that main vein in here. You see the main vein? Let me hold it up. See that main vein? I'm trying to get that out. So you just pull it off. Throw it to the side. Again, take that. Sometimes I just take the whole vein out. Throw it to the side. No itchy throat here. It has happened to me. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was dying. Oh, man. Anyway, funny now, but back then it wasn't funny. So I'm taking this off. Then I went back to the seller and I was like, you sold me something that almost killed me. She just looked at me like, you're so stupid. That was so long ago. Anyway, take the stem, pull that main artery out. Pull it out. Same thing here. Main artery out. Here we go. And see how this is how the taro leaf look. I just cut these and look, it turned brown. I gotta get those taro on the ground. They're starting to look really scraggly. They're struggling for nutrients. Again, take this, break it off, pull that main stem out. I used to eat this in Hawaii. They made lau lau with it, and they cook a lot of vegetables. Well, the Samoans and the Hawaiians. Hawaiians make lau lau, and then they make poi out of the root. I don't like poi, but I do like lau lau. And what is lau lau is like a they put some meat and some mixture, and they cover it. The leaves is what cover it on the outside. But I'll show you that later. I'll look up a recipe for it. So you see, I pulled that stem out, right? I don't trust the stem at all. Not after what happened to me. Once bitten, twice shy. See that? Some people might say, no, you don't need to throw away all that. Yes, I do. I don't want that stem. I don't want that vein, that main vein. Don't want it. Again, I'm making sure I show you. Don't make this mistake of leaving this thing on here. Take it off. It's not worth it. Some people eat the stem, but not me. Not after what happened. So, there you go. Pull that main vein out. There we go. Okay, now that we have our greens here, and it's just a little bit, because they were looking mighty scraggly out there. It's the one time I'm going to chop this thing up. Let me get my favorite knife. I'm going to bunch it up. And I'm going to put it in a pot. This is the big pot. Everything, it looked like this a lot, right? When we finish boiling it down, it's going to boil down to nothing. I'm going to steam this for 20 minutes before I start anything else. While this thing is steaming, we get our other vegetables prepared. So, I'm going to lay this out as much as possible. I got water in this pot. I have water in the pot. See that? Water in the pot. Not a lot of water, just a little bit. Enough to steam it. I'm going to cover it with a lid, and I'll be right back with you. Well, my taro has been boiling or steaming, boiling for about 20 minutes. Turn it down. I'm going to put this on low. I want my taro cooked well because it has a property in it that will give you an itchy throat. So, the taro, take my lid off. First thing I'm going to throw in next is going to be my okra. And I'm going to cut up my onion. Woohoo! There we go. Let's not make a mess. Get a bowl. How about that? And I'm cutting up my onion. This is a small onion. It's not big. Doing my tic-tac-toe method. See that? Tic-tac-toe method. So I don't have to chop as much. Take that and go across. Take the bottom part off. Throw it in my trash bin. Get all my stuff chopped up without making a mess. Just a rough chop. It's not particular. I just don't want it big. I don't want any big onion chop, any big onion like this, you know. I don't want it that big. I want it small, but not minced. Just not big old clumps of onion. So, onion look like this. Put it in the pot. And I got the flame on simmer. It's just on really low. I'm gonna take my tomato. This was a frozen tomato from my garden. That's why it's so juicy. It's falling apart because I just took it out the freezer. I just want to get this top part off. Throw that in my bowl. Throw that in the bowl. That. Just get that ugly top part off. I'll cut this up a little bit. Put that in the pot. I can turn this up to about 2 now. Where's my Scotch bonnet? Just gonna cut that in half. I don't want it to be super hot. So I just split it into two. Put that in there. Get my Swiss chard that is sitting in water. And the only reason why it's in water, is because I didn't want it to wilt. First, you know what? I'm gonna do my garlic. These are sprouting. It should be 2 cloves of garlic. These are really small, so it's equivalent to 2 regular cloves of garlic. Put that in my trash bowl, wherever that went. I got another bowl here. There we go. Just taking the shells off. Throw the trash away. And the trash, by saying trash, I'm throwing this part. You see that? That's what I don't want. I mean, some people use it, but I don't. I was always taught to take it off, so maybe it's for presentation purposes. I don't know. I just take it off, cut it off, and put it in the trash bowl. Now, garlic is one of those things, the more you chop it, the stronger it gets. And I want a strong garlic flavor in here. So mince it. I need to make sure I'm not burning my pot. Turn this down a little bit. It's on 2 now. Really, it's on low. After I put this garlic in, I'm gonna go ahead and put my salt and pepper, and then I'll do the Swiss chard on top, and then I'll throw the coconut on top of everything. Okay, that goes in. All right. Normally I don't chop my Swiss chard, or I don't chop my greens, but time is of the essence. These have been washed. I washed these 4 times. I got this out of the garden this morning. So we're just gonna wrap it over, and we're gonna do a chop. Throw that on top. The main ingredient is Swiss chard, and that's only because my taro is not doing too well right now because of the season, and the Swiss chard was doing well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. Use what I have. have a few stems in here that I chopped off. I'm not gonna put too much of the stem in there, but I'm not gonna waste it either. Bundle this up, start cutting across. Swiss chard looks fat, right? We'll wait till we start cooking this stuff down. It's gonna boil down to nothing. To nothing. Now while this is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and start making some macaroni and cheese, because that's how I was taught to eat it. Some people do stewed chicken and rice and use a Swiss chard as a side item. But for me, today, it's going to be a main dish. Maybe I will use these stems. Yeah, they look good. I'm going to use them. Why not? Okay, put my salt and pepper. The last thing I'm gonna put in is the shrimp. The shrimp is gonna enhance the flavor. At the end, it's gonna take over as a flavor. So I'm gonna take, take some salt. And I put about a tablespoon of salt in there. We already have pepper in here, so just gonna put some black pepper to taste. That's enough. And I'm gonna open up my can of coconut milk. And then I'm gonna clean this place up because I've made a water mess everywhere. Water and leaves are everywhere. Open up my can of coconut milk. It seems to be fighting me back. Yeah, don't want to open right. I'm gonna pour that over it. We're gonna turn this flame up. And I got it, I'm gonna put it on about 4, cover it. I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, we'll put our shrimp in last, and we'll mix the shrimp in, and then we'll give it about 5 to 7 minutes, and the shrimp will be cooked, and the dish will be pretty much done. See you soon. So I've had this going for about 10-15 minutes, and you can see right here, let me show you, it developed its own bubbling sauce. I've also started a pot over here, right here, with some water so that I could boil some macaroni and make some macaroni and cheese. It'll be real simple. So let me turn this thing off here. And this is really watery, so I'm thinking I might put some pumpkin in here, which is traditional for Trinidad. Might put some pumpkin in here. After I taste it, I'll decide. I don't know if my chard is cooked yet. Still a little bright. Let me take a taste, see what this thing tastes like, and see if I need to add any more salt or garlic powder. Who knows? Put some pumpkin in there. Just a second. So I got a can of pumpkin. I'm gonna put a half a can of pumpkin in there to thicken it up and to change the taste. It's a little sharp for me. I don't like the sharpness. So this is gonna bring it down. If I could get it open. Should have washed the can off, but too late. Let me get this label off. The label is giving me the blues. giving me a hard time opening this thing. It's like, no, I don't want to be a part of the mixture. You didn't want me initially, so why do you want me now? Holding a grudge. The rejection is real. All right, let me see if this thing is open. It's open enough. Let me get the back of this spoon that I just used. Choo-choo. This can will give me a hard time while I'm filming. Okay, I got it. Back of the spoon to open it up. Nope, it's not working. Let me get another spoon. I use a dirty spoon to open it. Some people say you can open a can with a spoon. I guess they were right now that I got it. Okay. So I'm gonna take about a half a can. Put it in there. I do have fresh pumpkin, but then I would have to cook the pumpkin, and this pumpkin is already cooked. So I'll mix that in. Oh, wrong spoon. Scrape up my pot. Clean that off. You've done your job, spoon. Thank you. Mix this in. I might have to add some more salt after this. So that's the color I recognize. I'm gonna cook it some more. Let me get another spoon and do a taste. That's better, but it needs salt. About a tablespoon of salt. Add some garlic powder. Doctor this bad boy up until it gets to the consistency that I want. That's about a quarter teaspoon of salt. Excuse me, about a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder. No more salt. This in the sink. Taste. That's good. It's not cooked yet enough. I'm gonna give it another 10 minutes to cook, and I'll be back. I'm gonna do it uncovered this time. No cover, 10 minutes. I'll be back. So for my macaroni and cheese, the warm water has come to a boil. I got some macaroni here. Not gonna cook a lot. I'm just gonna cook a little bit, enough for 2 people. Oh, and I put salt in this water, okay? That's enough. We're going to boil this macaroni al dente. This has been going, I got about another minute and a half here, and then I'll throw my shrimp in. If it looks like it's cooked. So I'll see you in a minute. Now that's more like it. This thing tastes like it's supposed to taste before you put the shrimp in. Just in case I don't get enough salt in this, I got some codfish boiling on the side. So this is cooked. Let me show you guys. Get a spoon. And check though, the one that is the hardest. So look, you should be able to take your stem, or if you have any stem in there, and it should smash apart like that. Real easy. It's good. Okay, so what are we up to? The shrimp. We're gonna take our shrimp. We're not putting too much of the water in there. Just take your shrimp out of the water, drain it a little bit, and put it in there. If this was a Trinidadian, they would most likely use crab. But the one I learned from, he used shrimp. This crab, you know, shrimp is easier to get. So just put all of that in there. Get my thing. Make sure it doesn't scorch. This thing is getting pretty thick. And you mix your shrimp in. Your shrimp is gonna season the pot, season this stuff even more. Now all we wanna do is get the shrimp cooked. This is a way to get your kids to eat vegetables. Because this really tastes good. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drizzle the shrimp and the callaloo, the shrimp and the taro and the Swiss chard over the macaroni and cheese. Now, after this shrimp cooks, I'll know if I'm gonna need this piece of codfish, because codfish is strong and it gives off a salty, sea tasting flavor, which is what this dish tastes like when it's done. If it's done the traditional way with callaloo and okra. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but most people use callaloo. I use taro. I didn't have that much taro. You could use taro and callaloo. Some people say taro is callaloo. We're not gonna get into that. But I use Swiss chard, which is a different vegetable. So I went off the rails as usual. Once the shrimp cooks, I'll be back, and then I'm gonna take my macaroni and I'll put that all in the pot, and I'll show you what we're gonna do next with the macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is super easy. See you in a sec. So let's take a look at our callaloo. Because I didn't have a lot of shrimp in the house, I'm gonna use some codfish to make it fishier, but that's done. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make our macaroni and cheese. So I boiled it al dente. It's not cooked all the way through. Put it in a small pot. I got my oven set to 350. I want some of the water, but not a lot. When you get down to the bottom, I'm gonna sift this over the sink. Okay. Pour some of your water in there. I think that's enough. Get the rest of the noodles out of the pot. Put it in there. I cut up some, just some cheese I had in there. I forget what kind it is. I think it's not Haverty. What is it? I'll look in just a second. Put the cheese in there. Get an egg. I'll do that last. This is hot. Get some cream. Put it in there. I think about 1/4 of a cup I put in there. Remember, I just used a little bit. I want some butter. About a tablespoon of butter. By the way, cream and butter are the same thing. Butter is just churned cream. It's basically the water out of the heavy cream. It's the same thing. And cream is considered a fat. It's not really considered a dairy, although it's in the dairy section. Both of these come from cows, but it's the fat of the cow, the fat of the milk. So, fun fact. Mix that in. Let me get an egg. Crack that over the top. Mix my egg in. And this is just a baked macaroni and cheese. think I got too much liquid in there. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Let me get some foil. I will make do. It'll be just fine. And I'm going to put it in the oven for about 20-25 minutes on 350. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, move this out of the way, the callaloo. Let me do another taste test. Pretty sure I need to put the codfish in there. I did not put a lot of shrimp in there. And normally, you got shrimp just popping all over the place. It needs some more seafood. It's good though. Very good. Setting a timer for the macaroni and cheese. So I boiled off some codfish. And I'm gonna chop that up. Get this out of the way. I'm really off the rails now. Codfish does not belong in this thing. I'm just making it up as I go along. I need to get that seafood taste into this dish. I don't even know if I should call it callaloo. Just gonna call it I don't know, Swiss chard with taro. I'll figure it out. It's inspired by callaloo, Trinidadian style. Okay, I got my fish in there. I'm gonna give that a few minutes to infuse. Takes a few minutes for the flavors to get incorporated. The fire is off, by the way. I turned the flame off. There's no heat except for the heat that's already in the dish to continue cooking. So I'm gonna let that sit for a while and we'll see how it tastes. I'll bring you right back once the macaroni and cheese comes out. About 12 minutes into the macaroni and cheese, you need to do a taste. Sometimes the cheese is salty enough. Most of the time it's not. In this case, it's not. I'm gonna put some salt in my hand. Do about a teaspoon. Wipe the rest off. Get a little bit of pepper. I used to use Velveeta, but then I found out that it wasn't real cheese, so that was sad. That was a sad day for me because it made it really easy. And what I'm doing, I'm mixing the macaroni into the cheese mixture. Well, into the cheese mixture. Get it coated. I'm gonna put it back in the oven. We got 20 more minutes. One thing to remind you is to ensure you take that Scotch bonnet out of your pot. Nobody wants to eat that. Do not leave this in there. It is still super hot and someone will be on fire. They'll need milk immediately. So I took it out. So the macaroni and cheese is done. Callaloo is done. I have some barbecue chicken that was left over, so I'm gonna plate in just a second. By the way, I put some more cheese on the top of this macaroni and cheese. It's not Velveeta, it's cheese, so we'll see how it looks, huh? Just a second. And the end result is, there's my callaloo. Callaloo, macaroni and cheese. You only need these two. You don't have to have the chicken and the tomato. Just need those two. But there it is. I'll give you a better look in a second. Just a second. And voila. Rotisserie style. This is Jamaica 5288. This is my version of callaloo. I used what I had, which was Swiss chard and a little bit of taro. The taro wasn't doing so well, so I didn't use as much as I should have. Taro is normally used in callaloo, but Swiss chard is not. Although it worked out for me, you notice that I put additional ingredients in there, like some extra garlic powder, and then I used some pumpkin. Pumpkin is traditional, by the way, and it just worked out. It is delicious. I tasted it. So this is Jamaica 5288. If you like these videos and you want to see more, please join me on my next one. Please, 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 please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.